Today, we're looking at the Atramentis Red Brown. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. I get inks, test them, and share the results with you. Now, the Atramentis Red Brown is really just a red ink. I don't see browns anywhere. To make sure I have a range of experience with this ink, I do the writing samples, I put the ink into a different pen for a day, I then put it into a Retro 51 Tornado with a broad nib to take my notes for this video. Now before we get to the writing samples, let's look at the sciencey bits. Up first is the chromatography, and I agree with Vita that I've learned a lot by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. I put a line of ink down and immediately put it into water for 10 to 15 seconds. And we see that it pushes immediately away from the water, leaving really just the red across the top as it slows down quite a bit. Now the one on the right I let dry for 10 minutes before I dunk it into water. And you know, the red moved a little slower, leaving this kind of rose hue behind, and then it's red. Nothing else to it. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it might be to clean from your pen. Now I let the smear dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, it handles itself fairly well. That extra fine becomes about a fine. We see no real blowout, no feathering all over the place. It doesn't become blurry at all. Makes me feel safe in a note-taking situation. Water is reactivating and lifting almost all of that ink. Now that's only 30 seconds that water droplet was down. I really think that just a little longer and all of that ink would have come off the paper. Now pen flush does everything that water does and nothing more, meaning I don't need to use those extra chemicals. I'm going to fall back on just water to clean my pen. And bleach, the 1/3 bleach solution, as is normal, completely removes it from the paper. There's no reason to use the bleach solution to clean this out of your pen. For the inks I've tested, I have found an average viscosity of 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. The Atramentis Red Brown has a viscosity of 2.07, making it slightly wetter than normal. To find my average dry times, I use my writing samples done with the extra fine and medium nib on Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, and Rhodia paper. For the inks I've tested, I've found an average dry time of 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. The Atramentis Red Brown has an average dry time of 16 seconds, making it absolutely normal. Now, let's look at the writing samples. I picked this ink up in sample form, and to keep my writing samples consistent, I use a Jinhao 159 with a Goulet 1.1 stub, or 156? 159? I believe it's 156. Oh my goodness. I am right now absolutely, nope, 159. Oh, it looks enough like the Mont Blanc that then I got myself all confused. Nope, definitely says 159. I don't know what happened there. All of these, you'd think that was 100% down at this point. I don't know. I use the Jinhao X450 with a Goulet medium and a Jinhao X750 with a Goulet extra fine. Let's take a look at the Clairefontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, no spread, no halo, no sheen, no shade. I think I'm going to fumble my script this whole time. My goodness. The extra fine is a slightly lighter tone with no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 11 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the as the extra fine. Yep, I'm not going to be able to talk. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 16 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation, and we didn't get any color variation. And the smear test, you could definitely recover this if you smeared while you were writing. Tomoe River. We get no bleeding, but we get plenty of ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade, 15 seconds to dry. The medium has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. It's the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It took 22 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both showed us no color variation. We didn't expect it and we didn't get it. In a smear test, you could not recover if you smeared while you were writing. Rhodia. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 12 seconds to dry. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, and no shade. The extra fine is the same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. It took 12 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, and no shade. How many am I into this? This is 289, and I am screwing this up that bad. My goodness. Wow. 17 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us a little bit of color variation, but I didn't get any. And the smear test, you could definitely recover this if you smeared while you were writing. Life paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 gives no feather spread, halo, sheen, or shade. The extra fine is the exact same tone as the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade, and 9 seconds to dry. The medium is the same tone as the extra fine and the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. That was my beard rubbing against the mic. 12 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. The smear test, you could recover this if you smeared while you were writing. Apica. Man, it's one of those days. Apica has no bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, and no shade. The extra fine is a lighter tone, a couple shades lighter. The extra fine has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 6 seconds to dry. The medium goes back to the dark tone that we saw with the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade, 8 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it, we didn't get it. In a smear test, you could recover this if you smeared while you were writing. Franklin Christoph. There's a couple little bleed spots where it's coming deep into the page. It does not come through the page. It does not render the back of the page unusable. The 1.1 has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. The extra fine is slightly lighter as a tone than the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, or shade. 5 seconds to dry. The medium is a darker tone like we saw with the 1.1. It has no feather, spread, halo, sheen, no shade. 6 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both show us no color variation. We didn't expect it. We didn't get it. The smear test, you could definitely recover it, and thankfully, I made it through the writing sample. Instead of finding inks that look like the Atramentis Red Brown, I would prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I've chosen Noodler's 54th Massachusetts because it's one of my favorite blue-black inks. Before I give my opinion on this ink, I would ask, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if it's your first time here, I would invite you to subscribe. So what do I think of the Atramentis Red Brown? Well, this is definitely a red ink, and it plays tricks on your eyes in the writing samples, because we know there's no brown to it in the chromatography. It doesn't come through in the swatch. But it appears like there's brown undertones in some of the writing, which is pretty neat. Now, I don't prefer my reds to have browns. I do not mind my browns to have red undertones. For that, I don't know that this is an ink that makes me feel like I need a bottle of it. There's nothing wrong with any of its performance, and it is a very nice red tone. It's just not calling to me in that kind of a way. It's an ink I'm happy I've tried, but I'm going to leave it at just trying. Thanks for watching.